Welcome everyone. It's great to see so many of you, thousands in fact, joining us from all around the world. I hope all of you are staying healthy and safe this year. My name is Praveen, and I'm part of the product team at BrowserStack, and I'm very excited to kick off the second edition of Breakpoint, BrowserStack's virtual summit. So we're very excited about the speaker lineup we have for you today at Breakpoint. The team has worked very hard over the last few months to put together an amazing lineup of speakers. And topics from all things testing. Our goal with Breakpoint is to provide a platform for the best engineering teams to showcase what really goes into winning at test automation and continuous delivery. Before I talk about this year's Breakpoint more, I'd like to sort of share a few highlights from last year. Last year, we had Breakpoint in July, and right in the middle of the COVID crisis, and we had close to 10,000 registrations and 3,000 attendees from over 150 countries join us, and across the board, everyone loved it. We had speakers from a range of companies and open source projects like Twitter, Trivago, WebDriver.io, Robot, Shopify, Mozilla, and Selenium. Feedback was great, both from speakers and attendees. And this overwhelmingly positive feedback gave us the validation needed to make this an annual affair. So that's why it gave us the confidence to start and start planning for Breakpoint again this year. So we've got a great lineup of speakers this year. We have QA leaders and open source maintainers from Google, Canva, Pinterest, Selenium, Test Cafe, and many more, covering a range of topics. From building a culture of whole team quality to using AI to determine which tests to run, to best practices of popular tools and frameworks. All in all, we have 16 sessions across 2 days. So I'd like to welcome you all again, and thank you for taking the time to join us for Breakpoint. So before we start today's session, I just want to quickly run through a few tips on how to use Hopin, which is the platform we're using for today's for Breakpoint for today and tomorrow. So on the left-hand side panel of Hopin, you will see three main buttons: Reception, Stages, and Expo. So Reception is where you'll find all the general information you need about Breakpoint. You will see which talks are live right now, any key announcements that we want to make to you, and also the full schedule across today and tomorrow. The second stage, the second option is Stages. So we will basically be having between today and tomorrow two parallel streams of talks, and so you can basically use that button on the left-hand side to determine which stage you want to enter. The third option is Expo. So in Expo, we've set up virtual booths with product experts from BrowserStack who can help you with any challenges or questions that you have about your testing needs. So definitely stop by and say hi to our product experts. We're also giving away some Breakpoint swag, so make sure you stop by and get that swag. On the right-hand side of your interface, you will see two options: Event and Stage. Basically. When we are doing these talks, you need to be on the Stage tab. That's the tab through which we will interact with you. So, there is a chat option under Stage to ask questions, during a talk. So for all talks except for the keynote, we will be taking questions, and we'll reserve 15 minutes for Q&A after every talk. There is also a poll option. So post specific talks, I will be announcing polls, and we'd love to get your feedback on some of the questions that we ask using the poll option. And lastly, but definitely not least, there is a people option. And with that, you can actually, under the event tab, you can actually find all the people who are attending Breakpoint with you right now. And you can chat with them, DM them, and network. So it's a great opportunity to meet fellow sort of leaders and folks from the QA and software developer industry. And lastly, we are recording all of our sessions through Breakpoint, and we will be publishing them on our YouTube channel about a week after Breakpoint is over. All right, so with that, I want to just talk a little bit about the schedule for the next couple of days. So actually, I'll just be focusing on today's schedule today. Up next, we have Nakul speaking. Nakul is the co-founder and CTO, and he will be giving the welcome and keynote for Breakpoint. Post Knuckles session, we have two parallel sessions. One is going to be on stage one, where Rocham will be talking about how Wix uses Detox. how they fight flakiness, and best practices of using detox. On stage 2, we will have Lamberto from HubSpot talking about making front-end testing a first-class citizen. We will also have, after that, we will have parallel sessions on WebDriver BiDi and shift left, how to create a production-ready changes by focusing on the left side of your pipeline by Raghavan from Expedia. Post that, we will have building your agile testing toolkit and a session on Test Cafe. And the last session of the day will be on stage 1. There will be no parallel session, so where we'll have Joska Feth talking about visual regression testing, the why, what, and how from Canva. Awesome. So with that, I think out of the way, I'd like to introduce our opening keynote speaker, who is Nakul Agarwal, co-founder and CTO of BrowserStack. Nakul co-founded BrowserStack with Ritesh Arora in 2011, and both of them started BrowserStack to solve a problem they were facing as developers. They wanted to test their website on IE, and they couldn't figure out how to do that because they were using Macs. So setting up an environment to test their website actually took them more time than building the website itself. And Nakul and Ritesh realized through this process that there must be millions of developers around the world who must be facing the same problem. So with a coffee shop for an office, Nakul and Ritesh launched the first version of BrowserStack in 2011 with support for just one browser, Internet Explorer. In 6 months, BrowserStack had over 1,000 paying customers, and now, almost 10 years later, BrowserStack has 25,000 plus customers, over 2 million registered users on our platform who run more than 2 million tests every day across the BrowserStack product portfolio. And we now support over 2,000 different browser device combinations on our platform. So please join me in giving Nakul, who wrote the first line of code for BrowserStack, a warm virtual welcome. Over to you, Nakul.
Thanks, Praveen. Hey, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening, depending which location you are coming from. It's wonderful to see you all join us today. I see the chat session buzzing and people telling which countries they are from. I see almost 30 plus countries till now. And United States, UK, India, Sweden, Portugal, Indonesia, etc., etc. Wow, very overwhelming response. Thanks for joining in. Good to see you folks. And welcome to Breakpoint 2021. I'm really glad this is happening. We debated our marketing conference Breakpoint last year with over 10,000 registrations. And with the second edition, we already have around 14,000 registrations so far. Thanks once again. So before moving on, what is Breakpoint about? I think it is to help all of us learn from the best in the community on how they are solving testing challenges, how they are reducing developer pain points, and reducing the go-to-market time for their businesses. Quick stats. We have 2 days non-stop action. I think Praveen spoke about the action of today already. First, I'll start with thanking the team to curate such rock stars who will be speaking about their experiences, their problems, and how they go about solving it. And then we have almost 20 speakers from over 8 countries speaking in over next 2 days. To all the speakers, a big thank you to create time from your busy schedule to not just prepare for it, and also I think sharing all of your experiences, like I said, like problems, and enlightening us how we should probably be solving problems. I hope all of you have some good learnings out of it. Because I am being part of the panel, I got a sneak peek last week into through some dry runs, and I found some of the talks really, all of the talks are interesting. Some are really, I found very interesting for myself, and I probably even tweaked my next year OKRs to see how we can do things better even at BrowserStack. But request all of you to make most of this. Apart from the talks, we have some handy networking features as well. We have expo halls, we have booths as well. Please feel free to browse through those, see if you can probably get any help you need, or if you want to contribute to BrowserStack in any way, feel free to reach out, explore those things and help us. So starting with journey, so I see that there are quite a few folks, new folks this time as well. So quickly going through the journey of BrowserStack. Praveen spoke quickly about how we came up with BrowserStack, so I'll skip that part. But just going back a little, I think me and Ritesh were roommates in IIT Bombay back in 2002. We founded few companies before BrowserStack, and back in 2010, things got a bit interesting when we were trying to solve. We were actually doing another startup, and like Praveen said, we were able to build the website using a WordPress template really fast. And then we came to testing in IE. That became the bottleneck. Then we hit the bottleneck in testing, and IE was a really pain because we were working from Mac. And that's why we built BrowserStack, to just really test live. We fast forwarding, because Praveen has spoken some of the things, is 6 months, we have 1,000 developers still working out of coffee shop. We hired some great talent engineers, but we realized we need to probably scale more. So we need to take an office. We won't be able to have so many engineers working from coffee shops every day. But yeah, we took an office. We started scaling further. Most of our product lines and all the features actually come from all our lovely customers, like some of you guys who have been telling us what do they need to probably make their life easier. Some of it is also we spend our product team and us spending a lot of time with them. So when we had this working live, they said working live on IE, they said we want to test, and we have Windows boxes, we can't test in Safari and Mac. And that's why we added Safari browser, and then decided we want to test on mobile. We added mobile emulators. Mobile emulators turned out to be really picky, difficult problem. I think it was back then, at least they were really slow. We had to upgrade all our infrastructure to make them work. Even after doing all the things, there were a lot of slowness, a lot of timeouts. Back then, by the time we also had Automate product line. So we decided to real mobile devices. And I thought it would be much more easier than dealing with emulators. So I didn't realize how mammoth the beast I probably signed up for. But luckily, it worked out well. I think thanks to our amazing engineering team, we were able to do a good job of it. And we are able to scale it much better today. Because we had mobile devices, we launched our app testing products as well. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm actually didn't realize I'm too fast. And then that's how we launched app testing products, which were primarily focused on, because to use this mobile infrastructure to test mobile apps as well. And in parallel along the lines, we have always focused a lot more on performance and stability of the platform. I think those are the two things. Anytime I speak to any customer, they only want, can you make it faster? Can you make it even more better? And how can the experience become less friction? Can you reduce the friction? Can you integrate this framework? Can we have support for this framework? Those has been the primarily focus areas for us while doing all the new things we have been doing. What else we did? I think last year we launched a performance testing product. We could test, see the performance of your websites to start with. That's called SpeedLab. And we also acquired Percy to help you do visual testing, which means people said we could see that our functionality is working, but we are not able to see whether it's like as good as we want it to be. Is it pixel perfect? Has nothing changed in the UI? And that's where we launched. We had these two products supported last year, I think, and because of COVID and all teams going remote, we launched things around team. How can we provide better experience around teams? So that's a quick journey of BrowserStack so far. Customers. So we do, as you can see already, we have a diverse customer base across various geographies, industries, and sizes. I think more than half of Fortune 500 companies use BrowserStack. All category leaders, not just these 6, but including travel, hospitality, logistics, all the companies are using BrowserStack to test not just web applications, web apps as well, and give their customers an amazing experience. Even the cloud providers like Amazon and Microsoft use us. So that has been, I think, all thanks to you customers. And why do customers love us? So I think that's probably both of us were engineers. We were solving it ourselves. So I think solving for developers, we wanted to solve for ourselves. We have been very focused always on dog fooding. We always listen to our customers very, very aggressively and make sure we have a developer first approach. And that's a number speak for itself. We have a global customer base, loved across 25,000 plus customers, 2 million plus registrations, and all the positive feedback on Twitter. All the, I think, industry analysts, everyone has been rating us very positively that we are the leaders in this space. So That's on the customers. So what's the vision of the company? So I think the vision of the company is to be the testing infrastructure of the internet. What that means in very simple terms means is whenever any commit any engineer does across the globe, we want to make sure they test, when they run their test, they use browser infrastructure. So whether it means whatever platforms they need, from browsers, mobile devices, tomorrow could be smart TVs, living room devices, or it could be any genre of testing they want to do. They want to do functional testing, they want to do regression testing, they want to do performance testing, they want to do security testing, so across, I think, all the dimensions. And as I think people are getting more and more finicky about going to market, like releasing every day or releasing multiple times a day, I think they need a lot bigger infrastructure to do this testing at a much faster pace. So we want to solve all of these three as frictionless as possible for all the developers across the globe. A little numbers on from our scale. So we have 2 million registered users, registered developers. We run 72 billion Cilium commands every year. We have more than customers and across more than 185 countries, and we already have 15 locations of where we host all our infrastructure across the globe. So how does this all works? So all of this works, I think, powered by our testing platform. So our platform, I suppose, if you ask me, three primarily pillars through which we really build all of these things is performance, scalability, and frictionless developer experience. It's a single platform for all use cases, irrespective of customer use case, of what they need, when they need, and how they want to test it. Right. So we constantly strive in expanding the capabilities of this platform through the genre of infrastructure, which is the bottom piece in the if you're seeing the screen. Then adding more and more use cases. How do we expose infrastructure more and more? How do we make it more accessible to users? What else needs to be exposed from this infrastructure for our users? And of course, third and most important, I think, supporting all the frameworks, all the mediums people consume this infrastructure, and how servers want to probably run their test cases and users. And which leads us to expansion both horizontally and vertically, which means adding more and more use cases as we grow, and also adding more and more capabilities both on infra and platform size. So test anywhere. In the last year, interesting thing happened. I know COVID not being a positive thing for a lot of people, but I think for engineering world, everything moved remote, which meant most of the people did not have access to on-prem devices. Like most of the people were using, like even including some of my engineers were using devices in office, and certainly there are no access to, I think, devices, no access to on-prem infrastructure, which led to, I think, a lot of usage of BrowStack, but it also led to a lot of demand for collaboration between engineers, between various teams. That really helped us to adoption of BrowStack at a faster pace, but also we got a lot of feedback on how we could do better, how we could probably improve to provide a better experience, and led to some of few features which probably led to, I think, growth of the product as well. Quick releases which we have done, I think, over last year. I think Live and Apply for Teams. I think quickly mentioned earlier as well. Like I mentioned when I was speaking about COVID, I think over the last few years, another trend which has changed is, I think, at customer experience, it's not just engineering problem, right? It's not just quality problem anymore. It's everyone problem. What that means is not just engineering teams, but there is a lot of other teams also who are checking and want to make sure the customer experience is great. And that has increased usage of BrowStack across other functions as well, which includes product management, marketing, and even customer support teams. So we introduced live team functionality in live products, which leads to, I think, much better experience. You have this access to all the same infrastructure, same features, 2,000 plus real devices, and all the desktop browsers with the entire kitchen sink collaboration features, test cases, and debugging as well. Another thing we did, Percy, I think last time we spoke, we were still, we just debuted it as through this, I think, Breakpoint conference last time. Fast forward today, I think, first I'll just quickly, quick going through the problem we were trying to solve is helping all of developers build pixel perfect experiences for their customers. So that's the problem statement we want to solve. Percy, I think, was doing already an amazing job by having a very, very great developer experience on how easy you could integrate into your GitHub pull request and get all the results in your out of the box into your GitHub pull request. So what we did since our last breakpoint catch up is we have added a lot more features. We made the dashboard lot more, I think, easier to use because as people are adopting more and more, we see that looking at diffs, if you have a huge pull request, was getting really, really difficult. So we made it a lot more easier. We are adding a lot more browsers and looking forward to add mobile devices in the next coming months as well. So infrastructure ask is the biggest thing. That's how we have been primarily focusing with Percy. I think there's an interesting talk from I think Canva on how they are using Percy, and I think I'll recommend all of you to probably stay back and listen to them as well. Next, I think insights. So since a lot of users use us very extensively, which led to there is a lot of data on our end, right? Which means and users were asking, can you provide us more insights, right, from the data you are collecting? And that led to Test Insights feature, which provides you, I think, sophisticated reporting across all the data we collect when you run your test sessions, which includes build trends, test coverage. You could continuously monitor all of these performance metrics through the dashboard, which not just includes, I think, build duration, but I think if their tests have reduced, if the test time has changed, are there increase in errors or decrease in errors? Is there a pattern across specific browser and things like that? I think customers have really loved it. We have got some fantastic feedback. And if you haven't seen it, please sign up for it, or please reach out to your account manager to see how you can use it. Oh yeah, this one is one which is I think I'm personally very excited about. I'm excited about everything, but this one is just I think more related to open source, which excites engineers a lot more. So we are big fans of open source. I think most of the browser stack is very heavily built on open source softwares and open source tools. And we always, as engineers, want to give it back to the community. We do our bits, I think small bits and pieces on the engineering pieces we use if we find some fix or if we see if something could help with the wider community. But we could formally, I think, launch a dedicated effort team last year, which is just contributing to open source. Last time we spoke, we had one guy working on it full time. We have a full-fledged team now contributing to Selenium, and we also added Nightwatch into the kitty as well. So we are now contributing to both the projects more proactively and full time with our team. More news on frameworks. Like I said, supporting all the frameworks people use is, I think, has been our most important focus area. So primarily we use Selenium, Appium, and I think JS testing. Of course, we support all other frameworks from Cucumber or I think WebDriver.io and things like that. Why these specific mention for these? I think in the Chrome, not all browser testing. So if I remove Selenium, which does all the browser testing, there is a small subset of users who want to run specifically on Chrome or I think subset of browsers. And that's where I think Puppeteer, Cypress, and Playwright do a great job as well. And there's a lot of demand for these three frameworks as well. So Puppeteer being the most popular and most heavily used in this area today. So we launched Puppeteer beta support, closed beta right now. I think we'll be launching public beta very soon. We released Cypress integration a few months back, and it's already working well with our customers. Feel free to try it, give us feedback. Playwright is, I think we are integrating it right now. It's in active development. We should be able to enter closed beta in April. So if you're interested, anyone is interested in any of these frameworks, please feel free to reach out to our support team, and we'll be very happy to help you with it. And yeah, I think that's my time for today. A big thank you to all the speakers who have been working very closely with the team over the last couple of months. The talks are some of the best I have seen. Like I said earlier, I think some of the things I really found exciting, and I'm trying to integrate within BrowserStack as well. I encourage all of you to, I think, learn and enjoy as much as possible. Make full use of, I think, all the speakers' experience, and reach out to booths to probably talk to these guys as well. Network, I think, spend time with networking with your few folks, few peers. And once again, thanks to each one of you for joining us for Breakpoint 2021, and have a great conference. Thanks, guys.